First off, I want to thank everybody for being here. Obviously, you'd like to be out at the field, but the temperature is good, but obviously the wind, especially being in the Midwest, the wind doesn't always cooperate. So walking over there, I was like, this might be a little bit hard to hear, so I'm actually glad that we came back inside. First off, I'd like to thank Dr. Van Alstyne for taking me here and putting his trust in me to take over this program. Matt Tanney also oversees baseball. Really appreciate those guys giving me the opportunity. And then the selection committee with Sean McDonough, Patrick Osterman, Kelsey Homewood. Just from talking with those three on the phone when we started two weeks ago, you could tell that they're trying to build something special here. And that's really what we're trying to do. You don't get too many opportunities to be a head coach. And because of that, I do want to thank some people before we get into it. The support staff here has been great to me. I know the transition is never easy when you come to a place, but everybody here has been great. The coaches have been great. It's a family atmosphere here. You can tell that people are happy to be here, which is a huge deal for me and my family. You want to be at a place where you can be happy, and it's a family environment. Friends of mine from back home, people that email me, Twitter, Facebook, it's been unbelievable. The amount of people that have reached out to me to say congratulations, and I'm looking forward to it. I want to thank Shane Davis, the assistant, who's been here for the last 6-7 weeks. You know, a lot of guys in his situation would have jumped ship, but he hung tight and he stayed after it. And I'm a huge believer in loyalty, and he's been extremely loyal to the program here. So I'm actually extremely happy to keep him on here because he's deserved it. And he's earned it. Dave and Debbie Taylor, I don't have a place yet, so Dave and Debbie Taylor let me stay at their place. I want to thank them. I know it's probably not going to be great for them right now, but I want to thank them because I know how hard that can be, having somebody that you don't know that well stay at your place. Obviously, Amy, Jackson, and Nora, that was probably the only difficult part of this transition for me right now, is that they're back in Iowa City, but they're going to get here, and once they get here, obviously things will be a lot easier on me with my family. I want to thank, obviously, my dad. Was a longtime baseball coach, 30 years as a head coach. He's been great through this whole process, even as an assistant, a young assistant. He was a guy that I could always lean on to. He taught me a lot about coaching and also how to treat people. That's the biggest thing I learned from him, is how you actually treat people. Spanky McFarland, who's the head coach at James Madison. Honestly, I wouldn't be in baseball right now if it wasn't for him. I was grinding it out as a volunteer at Evansville and was getting to that point where, do you stay in the profession or you decide to do something else? I was honestly making a lot of money bartending and coaching at the same time. The hours weren't great, but it was getting to that point where I was like, you know what, I either got to make a decision to go into teaching, bartending, or try to stay in coaching. And fortunately for me, Spanky called about this time when school had started and they had an opening, and drove out to Harrisonburg, Virginia, and met with him. And honestly, I wouldn't be in baseball right now if it wasn't for Spanky. And then Coach Dom at Iowa, same deal. You always need people to help you along with coaching to get you to that point. And the last 9 years for me with him were great. He's a great mentor, great friend, and they're in great shape there. So that was a little easier for me to come over here because I knew that the Iowa baseball program was in good shape, and they're going to do some good things there. But now it's time to move on to Western Illinois and get things going here. You know, people ask why Western Illinois, especially in the interview process. People are like, why Western? There's a lot of benefits here with the school itself, the people that are involved, the community. It's a great place to go to school. The athletic department obviously seems great. Just got here, but it's going to be a good opportunity for everybody. There's baseball tradition here. You look at Dick Paulo, Guy Ritchie, those are guys that obviously coached for a long time here. There's only been five other baseball coaches at Western Illinois, and I think that's the amazing thing for me when you look at how long the program's had baseball here. For there only be 5 guys who have ever coached baseball here before, that's an amazing thing to me. You look at the guys that have played here with Phil Bradley, the Russell brothers. There's been a lot of good baseball players that have come through Western Illinois, and hopefully we can try to continue that tradition here at Western. My staff, I know people have asked a lot about that. And backing up with that, I do want to Coach Hyman, Stan Hyman, Coach Villano, obviously both breathed life into this program as well. With my staff, I'm going to keep Shane on. He's deserved that. Dusty Napoleon, who played for us at Iowa, and then coached with us last year, who's back as a volunteer at North Park College this fall, but he's going to come on to help. He's a person that I extremely trust. He played for me, coached with me, so obviously when you have somebody that's been in the wars with you, it makes things a little bit easier. And then Matt Aguirre and Dan Russell are going to stay on. They're here finishing their degrees and played last year and had good careers here at Western. Both of those guys are going to stay on and help coach. And I think it's important. Anytime you're running a program, it's important to keep the alumni involved with the program. And obviously getting those two guys to stay on this year is a huge help to me to keep things going with the alumni. And just being around practice the last 2 days with those guys, they're extremely passionate about baseball, and you have to have passion for baseball in order to be successful as a coach and get your players to feed off that. You have to have passion about what you're doing, and I feel very good about our coaching staff that's been put together about passionate guys that are going to be energetic and are buying into developing our guys. Are there any questions?
You've coached against Western when being in Iowa. What did you see in the program when you were against them, and how did that help you in the decision process?
I said that in the interview process. You know, we've played Western in the last 9 years. We played Western every year, and some years more than others. Some years we played them too much, where you play them 6 times, and with anything, once you play somebody that long, you're just like, yeah, I'm just ready to be done with it. But Mike and Todd Coryell, Mike Villano and Todd Coryell, 2 years ago did a very good job of bringing in some young guys that are basically going to be the foundation for this program. But they did a good job of bringing in some JC guys also. And at a place like Western, you need to have a good mix. You're going to have some high school guys, but you're also going to have some 2-year guys also. But I said that in the interview process. I don't care where we get our guys from. I'm trying to find somebody who fits here, wants to be here, is going to go to class, be a good student, be a good citizen, and also work like heck to be a good baseball player. I'm trying to find guys that want to do all 3 of those. That's the only time now I'm going to have issues with guys, is if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing off the field. And I told our current players that. I was like, I fully anticipate all of our players being here next year, the ones that still have eligibility, but that's going to be on those guys. Okay, it's not up to me to make those decisions. They have to make those decisions. If they want to work hard, make good decisions, be on time, we're not going to have any issues at all. And that's coming from experience. When I was at Iowa, that was Coach Dom's first year there too. We didn't look to run a lot of guys off. We just weren't going to do it that way. And especially with the APR rules now, graduation success is a huge deal now at this level. You have to try to keep those guys in your program. So we're going to work together to try to keep everybody around also. So, but in a roundabout way to answer your question, it's an exciting time because of what Mike and Todd did with bringing guys in. They put a good foundation together.
What are your goals for this program?
I told the guys that too, our first team meeting. I think you set a lot of goals for your program, but with where we're at, your expectations, with baseball, you don't ever know. You could, honestly, the end of the year, you could be in the College World Series. Or you could fall short of meeting your goals, but you want people to enjoy the journey and enjoy the process. So many times, at this time of year, you're not playing until 6-7 months from now. You're looking at the College World Series, which is in June, where you're missing October 4th. You're missing October 5th. And so many times, people look so far down the road that you're enjoying actually showing up at the baseball field today and getting better. And that's what I'm really trying to stress to our guys right now. Don't look too far down the road. Let's try to work every day, work today. Let's get as good as we can be today. Then let's focus on tomorrow. Let's get as good as we can be tomorrow. And if you put all those bricks together in that foundation, at the end of that journey, you're going to be in pretty good shape, you know, regardless. Because once the season's over, you can look yourself in the mirror and you say, you know what, I did everything in my capability to make myself the best baseball player I could be, best student I could be, and whatever happens, happens after that.
What kind of a style or personality or imprint do you hope to put on the program right away to kind of make it your program and your team?
Hopefully education first. That's a huge one for me, the education part of it first, then championships. Personnel-wise, we're going to have to play it by ear. I know there's a certain way that I want to play, but if the personnel on your team doesn't fit that style, then you have to change. I think so many times as coaches, guys think, okay, I got to do it this one way. Baseball is not a black and white sport. There's a lot of gray areas with baseball. So you're going to have to adjust a lot on the fly with baseball. So it really just, once we get into it, the good thing is we're playing Lincoln Land Community College October 14th here, then Blackhawk Community College the 21st here. So it's good, going to be good to kind of see how our guys handle playing somebody else. Because, you know, as a player and as a coach, you see it all the time. When you're playing the same guys all the time, you get in that comfort zone of it's somebody in the same uniform, and then you mix in somebody with a different uniform on. You're going to see your guys act a little bit different in that way. And that's what we want to see. We want to see somebody different in the other dugout and actually be able to evaluate how our guys are going to handle that. And especially with your new guys to the Division I level, it helps those guys be a lot more prepared once you roll around to the springtime because you've at least seen somebody else.